The woman berating a father after he gave his son a ball that landed in the stands. Well, now that father and son are telling all.
We were out in the home run seats trying to snag a ball for his birthday week, and as she reached for my arm, she just yelled in my ear, "That's my ball!" Like super loud. I jumped out of my skin.
Whoa! You asshole! You fucking asshole! You took it from me! You took it from me! Never see my skin!
The world has gone mad hunting down this Karen who caused a scene at a baseball game last week. Forget the witch hunt. The punishment
It's
is
supposed to be a birthday miracle, the kind of father-son memory that lives forever. A crack of the bat, a soaring home run, and a boy's glove waiting for the catch of a lifetime. But instead of joy, that ball sparked one of the most humiliating scandals Major League Baseball fans had ever seen. Because out of nowhere, a woman stormed into the stands, snatched the ball from a child, and screamed as if it belonged to her. Cameras rolled, fans booed, and within minutes, the world crowned her the new villain of the internet, Phillies Karen. What should have been a story about a dad giving his son the best birthday ever turned into a global meme factory. The meltdown was replayed, remixed, and mocked across TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. But the internet's laughter came with a darker cost. Behind closed doors, her own family began to unravel. Her husband, furious at the humiliation, refused to stand by her side. Her kids, embarrassed and bullied at school, wanted nothing to do with the circus. In a matter of weeks, the woman who thought she had claimed a souvenir lost the very foundation of her life. The damage didn't stop at home. Employers faced public pressure as the clip went viral. Her name and workplace spread online, and suddenly she was fired, blacklisted, branded unemployable. Overnight, she went from a suburban mom with a stable life to a public pariah with no job, no husband, and no escape from her own reputation. The baseball she fought for wasn't just a ball. It became the wrecking ball that destroyed everything. And then came the twist no one saw coming. With bills piling up, her family gone, and the internet refusing to forget, she made a decision that stunned everyone who had watched her downfall. Out of desperation, or maybe defiance, Phillies Karen announced that she was launching an OnlyFans account. The same woman who humiliated herself in front of millions over a child's baseball was now selling her infamy for clicks, cash, and controversy. But that's the real question. How does a mom go from snatching a ball in a stadium to opening an OnlyFans in the aftermath of divorce, unemployment, and public shame? And what does it say about the price of greed when one bad decision can turn into a scandal that never ends?
Crazy week for clowns making absolute fools of themselves at sporting events in the stands.
Sometimes you need that reset. Oh.
And Bader just unloads on this one. Deep left field, and that one is gone as Bader.
Karen decided it was a good idea to steal a home run ball from a little boy.
I think Smug's onto something here. I mean, there is no signed bat that can wash away the indignity of getting browbeaten by some awful liberal white woman with a Karen haircut.
It started like any father's dream, the kind of moment every baseball fan secretly hopes for. Drew Feltwell had front row seats, his son Lincoln's birthday glove ready, and the perfect chance for fate to deliver magic. When the bat connected and the ball soared into the crowd, destiny seemed to aim directly for their section. The ball bounced, rolled, and landed within reach, where Drew scooped it up and handed it proudly to his son. For Lincoln, that ball was more than a souvenir. It was proof that sometimes dreams really do come true. Fans clapped, strangers smiled, and father and son shared a hug that could have sealed the memory forever. But just as quickly as joy arrived, it was ripped away. A woman stormed forward screaming, claiming the ball was hers. The stadium froze as her voice cut through the cheers, turning celebration into confrontation. She wasn't asking politely, she was demanding, red-faced, shaking with rage, as if she had been cheated out of something promised. Phones flew into the air as spectators recorded every second. Lincoln clutched the ball, confused and terrified, while Drew tried to shield his son. Yet the woman pressed harder, shouting, grabbing, insisting she had the right to take a child's happiness for herself. The crowd erupted in boos, a wave of disgust aimed squarely at her. People yelled, "Let the kid keep it!" Others chanted, "Shame, shame," while cameras zoomed in. Within minutes, the clip began spreading online, uploaded to Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube by dozens of fans in the stands. The meltdown wasn't just embarrassing, it was the birth of a villain. A new internet character had been crowned. Phillies Karen. What she thought was a small victory, a ball in her hands, became the beginning of her downfall. Because that clip didn't just capture a tantrum, it captured the destruction of her reputation. And while millions laughed, one man sat in silence, realizing his marriage had just collapsed in front of the world. Behind the viral memes was a husband who couldn't bear what he saw. To him, it wasn't just about a baseball. It was confirmation of everything he had feared, that greed ruled his wife's decisions, even at the expense of children. Watching her snatch joy from a boy and scream on camera wasn't just humiliating, it was a betrayal of the values he thought his family stood for. Friends later revealed the cracks had been showing for months. Arguments about money, about always needing more, about never being satisfied, had worn the marriage thin. This viral moment was simply the match that lit the fire. For the husband, seeing his wife mocked by millions was unbearable. He told her bluntly he couldn't live with someone willing to embarrass not only herself, but him and their children. The clip circulated day and night. He saw coworkers watching it at the office, neighbors whispering about it at the grocery store, even strangers pointing at him in public. To stay in the marriage meant living with permanent humiliation. To walk away meant freedom. His choice became clear. Divorce papers were drawn up, citing public humiliation, greed, and reckless behavior. At home, the atmosphere turned toxic. Children overheard screaming matches, doors slamming, accusations flying. They watched their father packing bags, watched the house split in two. The internet may have seen a funny video, but inside that home, the fallout was devastating. A family was breaking, and the ball was to blame. For the husband, leaving was painful but necessary. He didn't just lose a partner, he lost respect. And for her, being abandoned by the one person who once stood by her side was only the beginning. Because soon, she wouldn't just be a wife without a husband. She would be a mother without the trust of her children. While Lincoln, the boy in the stands, walked away with a happy ending, a signed bat, a gift bag, and a story he'd cherish, her children faced a very different reality. At school, classmates replayed the clip on their phones, mocking them as the kids of Phillies Karen. What should have been a private family crisis was broadcast to the entire world, leaving them exposed and defenseless. The shame was crushing. They weren't just teased for what happened at the game, they were judged for who their mother had become. Teachers tried to protect them, but kids are cruel, and the internet is even crueler. Every day meant whispers, side eyes, and laughter at their expense. They didn't choose this humiliation, yet they carried the weight of it everywhere. Worse still, they watched their home disintegrate in real time. Their father leaving, their parents screaming, their lives collapsing under the weight of a viral scandal. For children, stability is everything. And in an instant, theirs was gone. The baseball wasn't just a symbol of greed anymore. It was the wrecking ball that had destroyed their family. Neighbors whispered, relatives sent messages, even strangers online speculated about how they must feel. Privacy evaporated. Their mom was a meme, their dad was gone, and their home was now defined by ridicule. What should have been their safe space had turned into another battlefield. And just when they thought the humiliation might fade, it escalated. Because while the boy in the stands found healing through kindness, her children had no escape. The internet wasn't finished with their mother, and neither was fate. The stadium meltdown was bad, but the internet's reaction was brutal. Within hours, the clip flooded TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Millions watched her snatch the ball, each replay magnifying her entitlement. The mob wasn't content with mocking. They wanted her name, her job, her entire life. Online sleuths misidentified innocent women, schools had to issue denials, and rumors spread faster than the truth. Her husband, already humiliated, now had to watch strangers tear apart what was left of their privacy. Each meme wasn't just public ridicule, it was another crack in their marriage. For her, it was unbearable. For him, it was proof. The internet had turned a tantrum into a permanent label, Phillies Karen. And as the world piled on, the marriage moved closer to collapse. Then came the stunt that pushed everything further. Sports card giant Blowout Cards offered a $5,000 bounty for the ball, but only if she returned it signed with the words, "I'm sorry." What began as internet mockery turned into a spectacle of profit. Fans laughed, calling it justice. Others said it was cruel. But the damage was done. Her humiliation became a business model. For her husband, this was the final straw. He told friends he couldn't raise his kids under a circus spotlight. The bounty became more than a joke. It symbolized how far her greed had dragged the family. from a stadium meltdown to being hunted for shame. Soon after, divorce papers surfaced. They cited humiliation, greed, and reckless behavior. What was once whispered in arguments was now legal truth. Overnight, she wasn't just a viral villain, she was a headline. News outlets pounced, tabloid covers screamed her downfall, and late-night TV roasted her again. Her children, already mocked at school, now lived in the middle of a public divorce. The baseball she fought for was worthless compared to what she lost: her marriage, her career, and her family's respect. But the scandal wasn't finished, because her next move would shock everyone even more. By now, she had lost everything: her husband, her job, and her dignity. Most people would have vanished quietly, but she didn't. Instead, she leaned into the only thing left: her infamy. At first, rumors of her cashing in sounded like a cruel joke, but then she confirmed it herself. Out of desperation, she launched an OnlyFans account, turning the scandal that ruined her life into her new business. The internet exploded. Some mocked her as pathetic, others subscribed out of curiosity. For critics, it was proof she'd sunk lower than ever. For her, it was survival. No jobs, no income, just shame she could finally monetize. But for her kids, the humiliation hit harder than ever. It wasn't just a ball game anymore. Their mom's desperation had become permanent, and the family would never look at her the same again. The internet's reaction to her OnlyFans was chaotic. Some mocked relentlessly, others argued she was just trying to survive. Either way, she was trending again, not as a mom at a ball game, but as the woman willing to do anything for relevance. Her kids, however, paid the steepest price. School became unbearable, classmates taunted them, and whispers followed them everywhere. What was entertainment for strangers was daily humiliation for them. Her ex-husband saw it as vindication. To him, she had proven once and for all that greed and desperation defined her choices. He cut ties completely, leaving her alone in the chaos she created. In the end, she gained attention but lost everything else: her family, her respect, and any chance of escaping the shadow of that one viral moment. In the end, this wasn't just about baseball, it was about how one moment of selfishness can define a person forever. For Drew and Lincoln, the ball became a symbol of kindness and family, a father putting his son first. For Phillies Karen, it became the wrecking ball that demolished everything she had. She thought she was seizing victory in that stadium, but what she really seized was the start of her downfall. That one grab cost her a marriage, her job, her children's respect, and eventually, her dignity. And while she tried to salvage it with OnlyFans, the internet never let her forget how it all began. The boy walked away with a signed bat and a lifetime memory. The woman walked away with a reputation in ruins and a digital footprint she could never erase. 5 seconds of greed had turned into a lifetime of shame. The story lives on because it's more than just viral entertainment. It's a warning, a reminder that the internet doesn't forgive, and sometimes it doesn't forget. One bad decision can echo louder than anything you say afterward, and that's why people are still talking. Not just because it was viral, not just because it was shocking, but because it showed us all how greed, humiliation, and desperation can turn a single baseball into the most expensive mistake of someone's life.